Now, in my 20-odd years of ERP career, and out of which, like the 10 years of which was MYOB Acumatica, I had never seen a user interface like this. And I truly believe it's going to revolutionize the modern ERP era, because it's not just an ERP interface, it's an interface that helps you support organizing your workflows the way exactly you want it. If you recall, Ronnie explained before, like information technology could be anything, everything, or nothing. So I believe when users don't really embrace the technology, well, you may have invested a lot, but it might not mean anything to them. But how about the reverse? When you have an ERP system that users would love to embrace, that supports every click in their workflows, well, that gives you a great outcome of your investment. Now, that's why MYOB Acumatica, the new user interface, is going to have a strategic business impact. And because the user could customize the screen themselves, it is so important that we get the right ERP in place. What it actually means for a user to have a supportive workflow, well, they absolutely enhance and boost their productivity. They would be loving to work, not just for the ERP, but for your organization. And that's why MYOB Acumatica is introducing the modern UI in 25R1. It is absolutely an UI evolution. So when you get the user to be able to customize their interface, so it's like your normal column configurator. It would be so familiar to them. So they will be going into a screen where they will be able to drag and drop the fields, hide the fields that they don't want to see. And so that truly makes it a user-centric innovation. So what are the key benefits? Why does this new UI matters? As you could say, the sleek visual design, it spans across the screen uniformly. How many of you had wondered, like those reference numbers where we had 10, 15 characters, and you had to hover over the screen to look at, what exactly that reference number was? Well, that would be just history. With the new user interface, spanning across the screen will give you more room for every field, so you will no longer having to truncate your reference numbers. So enhanced performance and multi-device experience and multi-device responsiveness. So, sometimes we will have to use our mobile phones, sometimes you will have to use iPads. Now, with the new user interface, it's going to be highly responsive, and we call it snappier. You will have a snappier interface that can support any device. The streamlined navigation is a key for a user to effectively enter their data in a minimum amount of time. And with the new user interface, it supports seamlessly. Personalization, like everybody likes things done their way. So that's why the new user interface supports this personalization for all the users. Now, in the old UI, so we had filters, like you can see here, and then those filters are just, as you create filters, they span across the screen, and you can never change the order. But with the new UI, your filter is going to follow this principle. I call it the KISS principle. Keep it simple and stupid. So the formulas for the filter is going to be really straightforward, and you will see what all condition and end conditions are. And not only that, you will be able to, favorite your filter tabs and then rearrange them. So designed for real users, simplification, clickable link views, and numeric truncation indicators and error visibility enhancements really going to make the user experience much more productive and effective. The mobile experience, as I mentioned before, is going to be snappier. So real time, you will be able to log into the through the mobile phone or any mobile device to the main user interface as opposed to the mobile app. You will still have a better view of the data as if you were using a mobile app. So that actually supports the remote work and mobile first user interface, as well as improved usability across devices. So what you see on this screen is the builds and adjustment screen in the old user interface. So once you have the new user interface enabled in MYOB Acumatica instance, you will be able to go to Tools and click Switch to Modern UI. So I'm going to click into the Modern UI in the list for you. Let's give it a couple of minutes and until it loads. It's doing its thinking. It needs a refresh. So when you turn on the modern UI, you will see a little pop-up saying it's still not for production use because I'm using an early version. But when it gets to the general availability, you'll be fine. So what you see is the list screen of the modern UI. And as I mentioned before, the filters are now docked in the left-hand side and no longer spans across the screen. So when you go into these filters, you can favorite them. You can click star and that will be your first filter, right? And also you can click into the advanced filter option and look how the filter has been created. And you can add or remove conditions by adding a plus button. Let's say in this case, I wanted to bring the status. Let's look at created on greater than, let's say, yes star, apply. So likewise, you can easily create these filters, and you can also add brackets to it using these arrows, and you can apply filters. Now, let me go back to my previous document. And when you drill into the documents, you can use these hyperlinks, or they don't have a hyperlink as such, but they are highlighted in blue. So you can click into them. Now, again, what you see is the old interface. Now I can switch it to modern UI to change the layout. So you will see when the layout is changed to the modern UI, how neat and sleek the design is, and it's spanned across this the whole screen, and every field has got plenty of width, so you don't have to hover over to see what the fields are. And the important fields are color coded. You can see here it's the total columns, so that will get more attention from the users. Right? And so with the hyperlinks, we used to have a pen icon next to it to drill into certain fields, but it's no longer there. Now what you have is a hyperlink along with the certain key fields, so you can click into it. Now let's look at how we can personalize this screen. So once you have the new user interface enabled, you can click into the screen configurations to open up the edit mode of this screen. So this is similar to what we used to have like column configuration, but it's for the whole screen. Now, when you turn on the screen configurations, you will see there's a cogwheel appearing in every section. So in header, I can see 3 cogwheels, as well as on the detail side, you will see a cogwheel next to the tab, as well as a cogwheel that we used to see as a column configurator. So you can click into each of these cogwheels to make it more user friendly. So what I could do in here, I'm going to give this section a title. So I would like to call it summary. And what you see here is the column that screen configuration pane. What's in your left-hand side are the fields that are not yet enabled into that section. And what you see on the right side are the fields that are already made available. So when you hover over to these fields, you will see multiple options becoming available. Now in the top, it's untitled, and I can edit this header, or you can completely hide it by clicking the eye icon. So I would like to give it a heading called summary. And then if there are any fields that you wanted to hide, you can hide them as well. Let's say we are not doing any discounts for the accounts payable side, so you can simply hide them. All right, and let's apply. Now, once you apply the changes, you will see the changes have been updated, so it's now named as summary. Now, one of the other common requests that we see is unwanted tabs. So if you wanted to remove any of these tabs, you can again click into the cogwheel and move the tabs. Let's say you're not interested in compliance tab, and taxes details, they are all good. So you have hidden few tabs here and then apply. So you only see the tabs that are relevant to you. So it completely helps you decluttering your screen. And when things are decluttered, you can users will easily be able to focus on their work. Right. Now, another common request that we see is, bringing the fields more visible from hidden tabs. So in here, most of the common request is like the payment information. I would like to see my payment method and the cash account that I'm paying this payment from. So therefore, if you wanted to move these payments, in previous UI, we had to do a customization. And, most of the time, I'm sure you would have gone to your partner and got a customization implemented to get these moved. But now with this new user interface, you will be able to do it yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the payment information into my top section, and I would go and click into the cogwheel. Now my payment information sits under this current document section on the left-hand side pane. I can move the cash account there, as well as the payment method and any other fields that you wanted to see. We can also bring the pay date and apply. Now what you see is the cash account, payment method, and the pay date. They're now readily available in the top section. And I would like to rename this section as supplier data. So I will do that. And apply. Right now my screen is much more cleaner and I can see the supplier data as well. So once you're ready to apply these, you can click preserve personal configurations. So that will go under my personal configurations. Now my screen is set. Also, I would like to show you, we have a lot of custom fields and a lot of our users are using user-defined fields as custom fields. But as much as we love the user-defined fields, but these fields sits completely in a completely different tab. So we want, like, one of the common requests was, well, how could we move those user-defined fields closer to my focus area? So that's where we can bring the user-defined fields back to into wherever you want to be. So in the column configuration pane, you can click Manage User-Defined Fields to add more user-defined fields. But obviously, I have added these two user-defined fields into the build, and that's done. And what I now wanted to do is to bring the user-defined fields into this section. So let me go back to screen configuration, click the cogwheel, and I can see my user-defined fields are there. There are two. So one is the receive date. I wanted to record the bill receive date as opposed to bill's document date. So I have that. I'm going to move it closer to the document date there. And also I need to check that I need a confirmation or verification check that I have double checked the payment, like supplier ABN. And then apply those changes. And you can see now those user-defined fields are closer and it's in my focus area. Again, I will click onto the apply all and click preserve my personal configurations. Right, likewise with the screen, it really makes your life easier, streamline your work or screen space and help you stay focused, right? And sometimes, like if you remember in one of the slides, I talk about like drag and drop customizations. That those are like if you wanted to hide some of these tabs, you can drag and drop or rearrange the tabs the way you want. So I would like the financials tab to be next, and then I wanted to hide the discounts. So when you drag and drop, you will see the hidden tabs coming along and you will be able to do that. That's hidden and that's hidden. All good. Now I do have a sleek and only the field that's needed in my workspace. Another great improvement in the new UI is the speed. It's very fast and very responsive. Let's see that in action. So now I am let me go back to my old user interface in the bills and adjustment screen. And if you make a note of this screen, as I scroll through the pages, you will see that screen blinks, right? So every time when we click on the screen to scroll through the pages, it blinks. But what happens when I switch over to the modern UI? It doesn't blink anymore. It renders the data seamlessly and making it really fast. So this is just one area where you can see this. It's not just one area where you could see the speed. In everywhere throughout the modern design, modern user interface, you will be working with a very fast and responsive workspace. I also wanted to show you how it impacts with the dashboards. Now, what you see here is the dashboard in old user interface. So one of the key problem that we come across is when you wanted to hover over and move these widgets, they're a bit fidgety, and you might have trouble trying to work with them, and sometimes moving the widgets around becomes challenging. But when you switch it over to the modern user interface, you will see a big difference. Let me do that first. This is how it looks in the modern UI. But what you will see is when you go to the design mode, the moving these fields become really easy, and they're responding quite fast. And it's very easy to work with. So therefore, it's, again, I personally enjoy this modern UI. It makes your life so easy and make your users' experience with this interface, I would say, memorable, because every day when they come and work, they're working with a system that is tailor-made for their needs. So that being said, let me move on to the presentation. So what's next in the modern UI side? So obviously, so there would be advantages of platform independence, enhanced user experience, flexible architecture and integration, and these no-code development. What does that mean? Because you can customize the screen yourself. So the important fact to be mindful of is about transitioning to the new user interface. We highly recommend that you speak to your partner and review the customizations. So you need to start reviewing all your current customizations and reach out to your partner so that they can transfer or convert these customized code into the new user interface. Otherwise, what would happen is those unconverted code will go hidden. So you might switch the screen to modern UI, but your customized fields won't come through. So therefore, it's important that you coordinate with the partners to make sure that your customizations are converted to the modern UI and they are well or thoroughly tested in the provided sandboxes before you go live. And also, it's important that you utilize any training resources like the one we just finished to understand how it all impacts for the organization. And again, thorough testing is always important, and thorough testing and user training will immensely help you with planning a successful transition to the new user interface.